Kaleidoscope Klan. I'm sorry. Hey there, Kaleidoscope Klan. How is everyone doing? It's Mariposa Maát. It's a beautiful day today. Nice and windy. It's been a little overcast, so just very cool. Yeah, and I just wanted to come on. I was inspired because online something caught my eye that I wanted to talk about. I don't watch Club Shay Shay with Shannon Sharp, but I caught wind of the fact that David Banner was on his show in the past couple of days, I guess, and he made the comment that his mentor had told him that he didn't do business with men who cheated on their wives. And when David Banner had inquired why, he said that if someone who you sleep with can't trust you, then why should I? Right? And it created quite a stir, because being in the Black community, there are a lot of people who were saying that if you live by those kinds of rules, that you wouldn't be able to do business at all, because everybody cheats, right? And that was very striking to me, because if we take these kinds of positions related to character, if we basically say there's no point in having any type of standards or boundaries because the system doesn't have any, you know what I'm saying? Just like acting like, oh, well, all the successful people, they cheat, we all know that, right? Like, we talk about the billionaires or the CEOs or whatever. But it's like, it's a real shame to think that we would look at them as our standard or our example, because we know that they have an issue with morality. They have an issue with valuing life and honoring and respecting life. Therefore, even if billionaires are not living by that code, I would say that it would behoove Black people to set our own standards, which I know we did. There's a beautiful red bird over there. I don't know if I can catch it. Can you see it on the gate? Oh, it just flew away. Of course. It would behoove us to create our own standards, as our elders did, right out of slavery. We created our own creeds. We created our own ways of relating to one another for success. And unfortunately, one of these just fell out of the tree on me. Unfortunately, we have been bamboozled to believe that we failed, when in reality we succeeded over and over and over again, just to be undermined. I just finished watching something on YouTube today about how there was a Black Wall Street in Los Angeles. They said on Central Avenue, and it was extremely popular, very bustling as far as finances, and the white men who were in Los Angeles felt like it was a threat. They felt like they were in competition with the Black community. So they created a city plan where like a railroad or something a freeway or a railroad or something was planned to go right through that community. So it busted up that community. And there are just so many countless examples of this kind of undermining. We all know, but I mean, like, a lot of times you don't know about the specifics, and when you learn about the specifics, it really gives a more clear picture of the fact that we can be successful having standards and boundaries. We do not have to go the way of a P. Diddy who's backed by, you know, people who want to undermine the entire black community. And it's like, oh, you have to do business with these people because that's the only way. No, it's not the only way. We absolutely can be successful for one another. I would just posit that America's very compromised. I mean, on some level, it could possibly be a challenge in many places. However, America is especially undermined, where they especially feel threatened by black people who are forward-moving, forward-thinking, and progressive. So there have been countless communities and neighborhoods. Many in the South are put underwater. That's a common thing, which is what Lake Lanier was. That was a black community. Not only that, but when I lived in Atlanta, I lived in Candler Park, or by Candler Park, and Candler Park was a black community before they created a law and declared all the people's homes slums. And mind you, this place had churches, a Masonic lodge. Like, it was a very organized, very developed community of black people. So again, this has happened everywhere, and the answer to dealing with this undermining is not to give up all of our standards and to, you know, believe that morality does not enter the equation when it comes to business. That's absolutely incorrect. And I believe the only way for us to reclaim our greatness again is to reclaim our morality and our standards. So what David Banner said sounds absolutely correct. Now, there are a lot of men that say things that also don't stand for what they say. So I'm not saying anything against David Banner either. I'm just saying that I support what he says. I don't know if he lives by what he says, but I really support it. I think it's great. I just grew up in the 90s where there are a lot of people who were talking a lot of stuff, including my ex-husband, who ended up like not being about it at all. It was just to get attention, to sound righteous, when in reality you're not living by it. So yeah, I'm sure that, you know, it got him a lot of positive attention, which, you know, positive things deserve positive attention. It is a wonderful thing to hear a black man say anything about having moral standards these days, because it's rare. A lot of people will scoff at these ideas, and that is basically a lot of what I got wind of. Was a lot of the scoffing, the negativity of saying that it's a fantasy land to do these kinds of things. But it absolutely isn't, because we are in control of ourselves. We are sovereign beings. We can create our own standards. If we have any people we trust, we should work with those people to create larger circles of trust. And that definitely includes married people. It is not a silly or crazy thing to expect married people to be loyal to one another. And it's a very sad state of affairs when people make the commentary that it doesn't exist. That's very sad. But when you're coming out of a generation that was submerged in music that was sponsored by our enemies, by agents and ops that were set up to destroy our community, and a lot of money and energy went into these things, you know, a lot of resources, radio stations and video shows and all that kind of thing. You know, it was successful on some level, very successful. A lot of people in my generation were definitely brainwashed to not have respect for ourselves as far as the level at which we should be functioning at, which is high. We should be functioning at a very high level because we're people with very high capacities, and we're very blessed to have survived the things that we've survived. And when we get in relationships, they are sacred relationships. That's what they should be. They should not be seen as, you know, just getting some booty or some money from someone or some transactional BS. Relationships are sacred, and if you have someone that you love and trust and vice versa, you are very blessed. Do not be dumb and not value someone who values you, you know. I would just say to also be very discerning. Do not connect with just anyone, you know. And I will also say that there are a lot of ops and agents out there who are looking to victimize people who pretend to be things that they are not, just to get you in a compromised position. I'm speaking as someone who is one of those people where, you know, you have a mate who promises to, you know, love, support, and cherish you, and then in reality, it was a joke. You know what I'm saying? It was a joke to them. It was just like something that, you know, someone bet them they could do or some shit like that. But I have learned from that, and I still believe in the sanctity of love, relationship, marriage, family, community, and loyalty, fidelity, knowing that you can really count on someone. And that's something that if you have a problem doing that, then you should search inside of yourself and see what's broken inside of yourself. It's not about society. I mean, society gives us the example, but we have to stand for something. And once you do, then you will meet other people who stand for those things too. So that's basically what I wanted to come on to say, is that fidelity and loyalty is valuable, and it shows good character, and character matters. People who don't have character should not be considered for important positions in your life. And cheating is indication that someone is compromised related to their value system, and whether, you know, they're playing games with their relationship, or are they serious about their relationship? Are they serious about their word? You know, these things matter. They're not a joke. So there's hope. There's hope. But it has to start within yourself. You have to believe that integrity and morality matter in order to see that it does out in the world as well. Okay, so thank you, David Banner, for that, you know, little snippet. I didn't watch any of the interview. I just heard about that conversation, and so I just wanted to speak on that. I actually knew David Banner when I was in Atlanta. He used to always come into the Holistic Center where I worked. So I've spoken to him a few times. But I have no commentary on him as a person. I have no opinion one way or the other, just because I would be irresponsible to speak one way or the other. I think you have to know someone on a deeper level. He was just in the community overall. So it was very superficial as far as how I knew him. But thank you, Mr. Banner, for that wonderful food for thought, because I think that it's a positive seed for a conversation that the Black community needs to have about standards. So I hope that provided a little food for thought for you as well. You know, do you do business with people that you see are openly untrustworthy with their partners? Do you maybe believe that women are lesser than, so it's okay for when men are disloyal to women, but you know, it's like bros before hoes kind of thing, you know, because that's another thing that was pushed in the hip-hop generation, which makes sense for all the homosexuality, right? If you cherish your bros more than women. But anyway, yeah, these are all things that we need to really think about, especially after it's been so exposed, related to who was funding all of that music and what kind of characters those people are. We really need to question the sicknesses that they have implanted in our culture, and we need to be very aggressive about challenging those corrupt and demonic ideas. Okay, Kaleidoscope Klan, that is all. This is Mariposa Maát, reminding you to continue to embody your sacred transformation. Keep changing and growing and evolving. It's okay to change your mind, you know? So until next time, peace.